Hello and welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso, sitting a little crooked and weird in a rocking chair. Damn, every time I get the rocking chair, I start rocking and make a noise. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to get the little view in the background today, so I just went over by the window. Okay, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button. Today I'm going to talk about something. This should be a good one for you guys like that raw prison story, crazy shit. And this has to do with keystering, also known as sticking something up your ass or putting it in the safe, or, there's all you guys in your comment section have been to prison, and there's a lot of you. You guys can fill in the blanks on that one because there's so many different names. All right. 1998, sentenced to life without the possibility of release for a nonviolent drug crime, sentenced to USP Leavenworth, where I rock and roll. I get into the mix as far as drugs, alcohol, prison politics. And there came a time when I got a dirty urine. The dirty was for opiates. Could have been weed, but probably opiates. For opiates. And when you piss dirty in prison, and you know you piss dirty, so the bottles come back anywhere from 2 days to 3 weeks sometimes. It just depends. When I first went to prison, around this time frame I'm telling you about, which is 99, 2000, bottles were pretty consistent. They went out. They came back within a week or so at least. And during that time, when you knew you were hit, you kind of got shit together, especially if you thought you were doing 60 days. So repeat drug offenders like myself would have been 60 days every time. Repeat wine offenders, I guess, same thing. So 1 in 200 series shots usually were about 60 days. And that's what I got. So sometimes I get multiple shots at one time. That's disciplinary. Sorry, a shot is a disciplinary in the feds, or an incident report, however you want to say. So I was always over there for at least 60 days, and so there's a few things I would do to prepare myself. That is, I had a lot of legal work. I just brought the phone in the room and showed you guys the legal work I have piled up in there. So I always had piles of it. Okay. So every time I went to the SHU, when I went to the property officer within the week, I would demand my legal work because you have a right to keep on studying your case. And I was such a familiar face over there, they automatically knew what time it was. And they didn't search in between those papers. So I'd put a plastic mirror so you can see yourself shaving, razor blades. I'd get a bunch of razor blades together, toenail clippers. That was a biggie. Toenail and fingernail, I should say. Combs, even though I didn't use one. But mirror especially. So anyway, I'd prepare myself. I was a veteran at that time. So every time I went, I was holding. So also drugs, if I had them, if I knew, there would be times when lieutenants or SIS would pull you up like 10 o'clock in the morning, coming in from the yard, and they say, hey, Rosso, we're doing bottle roundups today. The dirties are back. That meant, get your shit together. You're going to the hole. And again, back then, they let guys go to the hole with their asses packed or in their pocket or whatever. So one day, I pissed dirty and I was waiting for the bottle to come back. Although I was thinking to be back in 5 or 6 days. So I have some heroin ordered. That was 2 grams for 1,000. I got it from an old guy from Kansas City who used to run a card table, and I'm just gonna say JJ's his name. I'm pretty sure he's dead. That was a hell of an old convict. I just don't want to say his name like that. Plus, he's really infamous, I should say, in the Kansas City area. Good old man, and I'm not gonna. Anyway, so I had 2 grams ordered from JJ that was supposed to be there, the day before, whatever the case was. So it's before noon. I'm in B-Lower drinking like I did a lot of mornings. I used to love drinking Shine, especially in the morning. Half pint was right, but being a greedy glutton addict, I'd always end up with the pint. Then I'd go outside for a little while. Then I'd come back and pass out, then wake up and do dope. And, it was this crazy cycle. So anyway, we were drinking, and the cops come around, and they can smell the alcohol. The cop that was on duty that day, damn, I can see his face as clear as day. And he had a brother, Williams. I want to say it was Williams. And, if it was a cool CO, they didn't care. If it was a bad CO and he wanted to lock us up, we'd probably scatter, try to go drink some more, do whatever before they locked us up and caught us. Did that many times. Hey, you go to lieutenant's office. Okay, yeah, all right, I'll be right there. Boom. Go somewhere else. Hey, man, give me. There's the work phone. Damn, I'm sorry. Shit. This. Hold on. Okay, my bad. That's really unprofessional of me, but hey. So, drinking. Dirty bottle pending. Cop finds out we're drinking, and about an hour later comes the cop back and said, "Hey, Rosso, they want you in the lieutenant's office in about an hour or two." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Man, you're drunk." And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Fuck, man. Don't tell them you were in here drinking," or something like that. I forgot what the deal was. But I was drunk, and they wanted me to go to lieutenant's office. But quickly put two and two together. I think that somebody else came back and said, "Hey, man, they told me I'd go to lieutenant's office too." That means that they're doing roundups and they're just not interested in getting everybody together right then and there. Okay, so now immediately I go to lunch because I want to find JJ and see where my dope is at. Anyway, so I go there and I was getting stalled a little bit, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, they're calling me to the hole. I need to do something." Anyway, a dude named Big J stepped up and ended up, I forgot how it went down, but he ended up going to get me the 2 grams. So here comes the cop, my unit officer, and says, "Hey, you need to go to the center hall for a breathalyzer." I'm like, "What?" Drunk, heroin on me, but not in my butt, fucking in my pocket. Going to the lieutenant, so, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to do that right now, Ross, so you got to go." So I'm probably trying to save his ass, he didn't want the lieutenants to know that we were drinking in there and stuff like that, whatever. So now I say, okay, I'm on my way. So I beat it to a different cell, and I have a couple guys with me. I'm like, "Man, I got to keister this shit." So I had my dudes hook up some balloons to put up me. And then I'm like, "Man, I need some smokes. I need a lighter. I need an outfit." That's a syringe. I got it all. Let me tell you, 2 grams of H. So we're talking little balls, 2, okay? They will put together. There was a little big lighter. Lighters are contraband. We had one, a little big lighter. That also went in the contraband pack. Now, the dope was wrapped up and ballooned together. And then there was another balloon. There goes the lighter. My dude smashed down 3 packs of Bugler cigarettes and the papers. Now, you can get Bugler like that big, okay? You can. I mean, there's some guys out there that know that are professionals at it. You can really compound it. 3 packs of Bugler and a syringe. The syringe was about that big, homemade outfit. Got it all up like man, I'm going to tell you, I was going to say a champ, but no, that's not true. It fucking hurt like crazy. I had Keister'd before, but that was a hell of a lot. Also, I was really, when I say drunk, I'm talking, it wasn't shine, it was all wine, but it was like close to 3 quarts. 3 quarts of good shit, In prison, if a quart of wine makes you feel buzzed, that's good shit, especially if you get drunk off it. But typically guys that drink at 2 quarts, when you start hitting 3, especially if it's good, you're fucked up. That's about where I was. Okay, so breathalyzer. I leave the unit, and the center hall guys see me like, okay, right when you leave below, it's like a wagon wheel, half a wagon wheel, desk in the middle, center hall runs straight down this way. The cops see me, and they already know I'm going to go because the unit officer called and said to breathalyze me. I know what happened. So they're like, "Hey, Rosso." I'm like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "Hey, come here." I said, "No, I'm good." They're like, "You got a breathalyzer?" I said, "No, I'm good." So like, "We're going to get you for refusing." I'm like, "Great. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? I just want to get in the shoe because I got all this in my ass." Oh, shit. Okay, so I go to Lieutenant's office. Lieutenant sees me, and this isn't the first time I've been down there drunk, believe me. Anyway, went right on over to the hole. And when I get there, they see me, they realize I'm drunk. They're like, "Oh, we're not putting you in the cell with nobody." And I'm like, fuck, that's great. So I got cigarettes, I got dope. I'm, rock and roll. Got me a bedroll. Got a couple bags so I can make some hooch in the days coming up. I didn't have my legal pack like I used to with my clippers. That was one of the things I didn't. But I didn't care that day. So anyway, get into the hole. They put me down on B range. What cell was that? It was downstairs on B range, left side. So like 111, I believe it was 111. And my next door neighbors were two, not Niñetas, Puerto Rican gang. Oh, you guys know what it is. Man, I hate when I do that. Is this old age or just what? When I just go blank like that, I know it's, G27s, man. Fuck. So anyway, two G27s I knew that I was really tight with were next door to me. And I wasn't there like 5 minutes, and here comes the guy. Hey, you got any dope? And I like bing, bing, bing. I beat on the wall. I'm like, hey, give me a few. All right, you guys. I'm in the shoe. I'm in the cell by myself. And now it's time to get the stuff out. Sat down on the toilet, and usually the time before when I did it, just kind of got to relax. And man, this is crazy. I'm saying this on camera. It's going to be posted. Stick your fingers in your ass. You can pull it, whatever, okay? That's what man, I was drunk, and I think I had my hand in there. I don't know, but I couldn't feel nothing. And I was just sick. Okay, so I'm sweating. I get up, I start walking, go back, I try it again. Finally, I feel something. And let me tell you, and then it kind of went away. Man, I got up on the toilet. Stood up on the toilet. It's like squatting, like, bouncing up and down. Oh, man. Yeah, I was doing that. I had my feet straddled on the toilet. I'm bouncing up and down, trying to get it out of me. I sit back down, stick my fingers up, and I felt it. Boom. It's like I felt the end of the rubber, and I grab, and I go, oof. I pinched, and all of a sudden, this crazy-ass pain, just whoosh, like so painful, I almost got knocked out. And I was like, whoa. And when I looked at my hand, it was complete. It was just covered in blood. I was scared for a minute because it was like bright. It was bright red, and there was a lot of it, okay? So then I put my fingers back up to see what it is again, and boom, I caught the actual balloon. I pulled it out. Let me tell you, whatever blood was coming, that was all forgotten about. I cleaned that thing off, opened that shit up, boom, got a little plastic spoon that's laying in the cell that everybody has laying, and I hooked up, and I did what I did. I passed the G27 some, I hooked them both up. Again, I had 2 grams, and those are my dudes, so they were just, thank you, God. You know what I mean. And I'm sorry if I offend any religious people. I just meant, like when somebody just sends you a gift like that, especially if it's a chunk and you're just sitting there and you do drugs, yeah, it's a big deal. Again, the blood, I forgot about the blood. So I go off of my own little opiate world, stupor, the whole night. I mean, I was wrecked. Plus I was drunk before I laid down. So the next morning I hear, Sicko. Okay, so between 5 and 6, medical's supposed to do rounds. They're supposed to knock on the door and say, sick call, you need anything? That's how it's usually done. Or they announce sick call at the beginning. This guy was trying to creep through, and just so happened that I was up. And I was pretty sure that what I had was like an internal hemorrhoid that I pulled out or pulled on because I've had hemorrhoids in the past. So anyway, this guy, what did they call him? He was from India, I think. And he comes around, and I said, hey, I need something. I have hemorrhoid. You have hemorrhoid? I said, yeah, I need something. Medicine, blood. He goes, you have hemorrhoid? I said, yeah. Your chart have hemorrhoid? Like, so he's saying he's in my medical file? I'm like, I don't know, I think so. He goes, okay, I checked for hemorrhoid. I'm like, okay. So I thought he was gonna go check my chart. All of a sudden, I hear keys. Pops the bean slot open. Bean spot drops. And I'm looking at him through the door, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, I check hemorrhoid. I'm like, you check hemorrhoid? He's like, I check for hemorrhoid. I'm, oh, he's going to bring me to the room. I have to bend over. He's going to look. Oh, I said, all right, but it was a big deal. So, all right. So I go to put my hands behind my back so I can cuff up and he could, cuff me up and open the door. And he said, no, I check here. I said, what? He said, yeah, I check here. And I said, wait, you're going to check for my hemorrhoid here? He's like, yeah. So I got to pee on the side out of the hallway. So I'm like, all right, finally. And I bend over, slowly pull my boxers off, and I scoop my butt to the door. And I go ahead and bend over and spread my cheeks. And all of a sudden, I turn around and I'm looking. And he goes, you have hemorrhoid. Very bad hemorrhoid. The blood was kicked to my ass, all right? So, yeah. So, anyway, you guys, that was a Keister'd story. Man, I come up with some wrong ones right now. Wine's cheap, balls deep, dope sick in the doghouse. I shit on myself. Well, okay, we're going to go. We might go to the Mob Files tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. We'll see. I know the Mob Chronicles, I should say. I don't really know how much more I'm going to do on that. I might lump a bunch together because I got some interviews I'm trying to get. We'll see what happens. And plus, I'm supposed to go on a podcast about that, but we'll see. I'll think of some. Plus, I got some, like I said, I wrote a book while I was at Leavenworth, the end of it there. I've got notes and charts all through my time at Leavenworth. So there's going to be so many stories coming out of Leavenworth. Not so much keeping notes at Lewisburg. A lot of the reason was because I was in a leadership role at the gang stuff, and they've searched me, so I didn't want stuff like that to get caught. Stuff I had from Lebanon, that's in the past, boss, you know what I mean? Anyway, and I put codes and stuff. All right, that's about it. Take care. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for your support, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you.